What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Mostly Occasionally Show. I'm your host, Brandon Wenner, the publisher of BroBible.com. Today we are on location backstage at the Greek Theater here in Los Angeles talking to John Hoffman, the drummer in Primus. We got a chance to talk about his journey, about what it was like to join one of the most legendary rock bands of the 90s and 2000s that's still making incredible music. And we even got a chance to work in a couple of drummer jokes. Thanks for checking it out. Hit the subscribe if you like it. Dude, great to meet you.
Likewise.
John, welcome to Los Angeles.
Pleasure to be here, man. Thank you.
So, you're doing the tour, you get to roll into LA. This is your first LA Primus show, right?
That's right. Yeah.
LA is a big Primus market.
Yeah.
It's a legendary Primus market. What have you done with your day off, man?
Well, nothing too crazy and too exciting, but I had a couple of days, to hang out here in LA before the show tonight.
Nice.
And so really just kind of hung around the hotel where we were. And, kind of walked around. I went and checked out the Grammy Museum. That was pretty interesting.
Awesome.
My wife and I went and caught a movie. We went and saw The Naked Gun. That was pretty cool.
Nice. It's funny, right?
It's pretty funny, man.
I've heard it's real good.
Yeah. It was funnier than I kind of thought it would
Nice.
be, But
Nice.
And just enjoyed some of the restaurants and some of just the LA culture,
That's awesome. That's awesome. You got to get like a good cheeseburger when you're in town. That's like a must.
Yeah. I feel like that's a necessity, for
Absolutely.
Sure.
Well, so you've been on maybe one of the most dream journeys that a musician could possibly be on. Where were you a year ago today?
Oh boy, nowhere near where I am here. I can tell you that. A year ago today, I was probably just in my town, hustling gigs, trying to fill my calendar with as much work as I could, with as many musicians as I could, and just trying to maintain a living and pay my house note doing this music thing. A year ago from this point, from a year ago, I would have never in a million years predicted or projected anything that's happened to me in 2025. I can say that.
So you go through the audition process, which was incredible. We'll get into that in a second. But I want to hear, what was it like when you go through all of it, you get the gig. You said even in your audition video that you cried when you just got invited to audition. What was it like when you walked on stage and you heard that very first Primus Sucks?
Oh man, yeah. Well, I can say I've kind of stated throughout this thing. People can tell I've sort of worn my heart on my sleeve during this thing, and that's something that wasn't really intentional, that I was planning on crying in front of the whole world, but it's just been such an emotional process, and like you were mentioning, even whenever I got the invite, it just even that moment felt like such an enormous victory that it was just an overwhelming feeling, and I haven't really been able to, control the tears so much whenever something is just overwhelmingly positive. So it's been, I've just sort of embraced it, But to go back to your question, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just such an incredible feeling, and I've had that feeling a few times, and that was definitely one of them. Whenever I took the stage for the first time, it was, just, oh my gosh, this is happening, just trying to hang on for dear life.
Because you tried out, you then rehearsed, and then it's like, yo, we now get to take it out there for people.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. And it really all happened so fast, this whole thing, not including the preliminary audition process where I was sending in the videos and got the initial invite. This whole thing, my primary audition in person was on January 22nd of this year. So it's only been, however 6 or 7 months or however long it's been, and to think how much has happened in such a short amount of time, going from, auditioning to getting the gig to playing the first show, in an international show at that, alongside one of my drum heroes, Danny Carey.
Yeah.
All of this, that was very quick, you know what I mean? And then as soon as that was over, the Sasanta tour was on.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that was over, the Onward and Upward tour was on. So it's just been a nonstop, just a fast ride since January.
Well, then, you just got to play in your hometown too, got to take the stage. And in addition to that, they like rolled out the red carpet for you, man. Like you got like you have an official day from the mayor there now. Everyone's wearing like white sunglasses. Like
what a trip, right?
yeah, that's cool as hell.
Yeah, man, like that was crazy. And so for the sunglasses, like I didn't see that coming. That was a surprise.
Nice.
That was set up for me. And so I walk out on stage and, I'm wearing my sunglasses. So it's a little darker. And so I take the stage and I look up front and I go, oh, cool, man, these people up front have glasses. And then my peripherals kick in a little bit. And I'm like, oh, man, the whole front row has glasses. And then again, my peripherals kick in. I'm like, oh, dude, everyone has glasses on, So that was a really fun surprise, man. Just big time. The way that they showed the support like that, but
what did the hometown like friends and fam like, and what were their reaction?
It was like a huge party. Most of the people that were in the crowd were people that I recognized and have, it was almost like it was like a sea of all the people I've met in my town over the last like 20 years. Whoa. And then like they all came together for this show. And so I was getting a lot of messages and texts from a lot of my friends after the show, and they were telling me how there was just like the environment out in the crowd was just a lot of hugging and high fives and fist bumps and hell, good to see you. Haven't seen each other in years.
Yeah.
And the crowd itself had a very warm feeling amongst itself.
Yeah.
Like they were all here for this one thing collectively together, and that energy, it translated up to the stage.
That's so cool. Well, that's the thing like about being a musician, like a local musician too, is it's hard to get like friends and family out to shows. Like,
course.
like everybody's busy, everyone sees their time commitments in a different way. So it had to be super cool to be like, hey guys, I'm in Primus now.
I mean,
You're gonna
cool,
come out,
man.
right?
Yeah,
because they're only here one night.
Pretty cool. And it's like I knew that I knew the town was going to show up, but there was a part of me in the back of my mind going, man, I hope the town shows up. And they turned out they showed up in droves, and it was just the most incredible. The entire day. I mean, talking about them naming a day after me. It's like as soon as I got to the venue that day, and I looked out the bus window, I could see friends of mine that were working on the local crew. And so immediately before I even got off the bus, it was just it felt like home, and everything about the day was just perfect. The reception, the energy.
That's awesome.
The catering was great. The camaraderie was great. A tattooing friend of mine showed up and tattooed 5 or 6 of our crew members, and so he was busting out tattoos on the scene, and it was just a cool thing, a cool day. And then them announcing John Hoffman Day in Shreveport was just such a surprise, and I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, but how amazingly cool, and what an honor that was.
Yeah. I mean, that had to be a trip also for like Les and Lerrs too. Just like, like.
Yeah. So like
we plucked this guy off the internet and look.
Yeah. I make jokes about that all the time, but yeah, like look what you guys created here, But no, it's I texted them as soon as like it was all kind of died down. I took a picture of the paper that I received, and it's like, look guys, I got my own day. Can you believe it? But yeah, I mean, they're proud, and
of course,
they're very
of course.
I think they get a lot of enjoyment in kind of watching me react to this new life of mine.
Well, it's a new chapter for them too, so like it's cool to be a part of the energy in that new chapter.
Right on. Yeah. Well, I have them to thank for everything that's great happening to me right now.
Dude, when I think about like your audition, Les kind of talks about how everybody was drumming to like Primus, standards, like John the Fishman, like etc. What you would expect as part of the audition, and then he's like, let's see what you got. Like, let's add some flavor. And what was so interesting about yours is you did TV shows, like to show your chops off. Where were you like, yo, this is how I do it. This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, man. Well, I think that a lot of the things that I was kind of involved with and doing for the last few years, even before the Primus audition, it was all leading up to this, and I didn't realize it. You know what I mean? So a few years ago, I started, making Instagram videos and just popping out videos all the time, and I sort of landed on this niche of doing video game songs and television theme songs and all that, and it seemed to be pretty popular. So I amassed this collection of these videos, and so like you were talking about the original Primus Audition, you know, there were a lot of just covers, and then Primus offered a chance for everybody, hey, like kind of show us a little more. And I had already sent my audition. I sent a John the Fisherman video in, and it was, you know, it was okay, but it wasn't, that's not what got me the invite. And so I had already put a little effort into this thing, a lot of effort up to that point. And then whenever they announced that they wanted to see more, I just went, you know what, I'm going to throw everything at these guys, you know what I mean? And so I made the official audition video. It was about 14 or 15 minutes long, and I included some of the, you know, the theme songs and all that. I spoke a little bit so they could hear what I sound like, and added a few of the Primus covers, and that is what got me the invite. But I actually sent in another audition video after I'd gotten the invite, and that one was like 45 minutes long.
Whoa!
And so I just sent a whole bunch more of the videos, like the theme songs and all that, and did a very, very detailed recap of my experience in the drum derby up to that point, which I think I filmed the video about a week before I actually auditioned. So it was like a very detailed blow by blow of like everything that I experienced up to that point. And so ultimately, I gave them like an hour's worth of material. Dude. Yeah, it was just like
you wanted to show them that you could play a show.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Like now that it's all said and done, it's like, man, I might have overdone it a little bit, but obviously it worked out in my favor, and
that rocks.
You know, I'm glad that they liked what I sent them. You know.
Yeah, that rocks. So, like, how much of the material did you feel like you had to learn in the process? Like, did you feel like, you know, you knew a lot going in, like, but then, you know, what was it like, because those drum parts are so intricate, like, so, you know, how much did you have to learn, relearn, like, where did you get snagged?
Yeah, man. Well, dude, I can safely say that I had to learn everything from scratch, and I've been a big Primus fan since I was a teenager, and so, you know, I was no stranger to the songs. I've listened to a lot of them many times for years, you know, and but when it came down to actually playing them with Primus, I basically had to start from the beginning, because a lot of the parts in my head, the way I thought they went, didn't go that way, or just little subtle intricacies that you don't pick up on until you're in the room. They go, hey, you're not doing the thing, and you're like, oh yeah, there's a thing there. You know what I mean? So a lot of that kind of stuff, and then you know, obviously, you know, taking the place of Herb, who was the last drummer, and probably the drummer that most Primus fans are most familiar with. He was on a lot of the big hits, you know, Jerry and Mud and all that. That's all Herb. And so there's a lot of you know, significantly like specific parts of the way that he plays things, and not only with that, but we have Brain and J-Ski as well, all very different drummers, and in all of their contributions to Primus's music are very different from each other, and they have a different sort of flavor on the drums. And so I have to consciously keep in mind for every song that I'm playing, oh, this is a J-Ski song, it has a J-Ski vibe, Brain song, Brain vibe, and Herb vibe. And so admittedly, the Herb vibe has been the thing that I've had to really focus on the most.
Wow.
You know, he's nobody's Herb, you know, he's a very specific, very unique drummer, and
also pioneering from when these songs were born.
Exactly.
Really,
you know, as the Primus sound was coming coming into their own and all that, he was, you know, a part of all that stuff, and recorded on the albums that we all know, that, you know, the songs the way that they are. And so yeah, I've had to be very like mindful of Herb's style, and it's been a process. Yeah. Like,
especially like all those like little like close cymbal like flourishes here and there, where you're just like, you don't even know you're hearing it. Like, but you're like, yo, you're on it. Like when you're on it, right?
He's definitely. I mean, you nailed it. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly right. You know?
So what? You're on the road now. You've had a number of shows. Are you kind of locking into a routine with Primus where you're like, hey, I got like some new rituals, some new like, you know, it's obviously, I have to imagine, very different from any of your other bands you've played in. So I'm kind of curious, like, I don't know, you got any rituals, anything fun like that?
Well, I mean, you're right. It's completely different than any band I've been in, you know, and I've been playing music full time since I was a teenager, and I've done some cool stuff, but this is very different. It's Primus, you know.
Right, it's Primus.
But yeah, as far as rituals, I don't have anything cool or crazy going on. You know, this is only my second major tour with these guys, and so maybe by next year I'll have some funny, cool rituals. But you know, I can safely say that I do. Everything is very much on a routine. You know, like we're playing these cities, and everything is on a schedule. And so I've definitely found myself enjoying like a nap at certain times. Like, oh, okay, I know there's like an hour and a half between this thing and this thing. I can go and catch a nap there. That kind of stuff. So you know, and then. I do like to, about 45 minutes or so before we take the stage, I like to go and start listening to the songs that we're going to play that night, get my mind into whatever we're going to be doing, and just sort of focus on that, you know. But
nice. Hear it, like auditory learning, and like
well,
all that.
Just to get my mind. Okay, we're playing these songs, and I'm thinking about the songs before we hit the stage.
Yeah, you know? I loved how in you know, in the audition, or not in your audition video, in the film everybody put together, how you talk about at the very end, like learning Primus through Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Yeah. Like, because I think that's such a, like so many people came to the band because of that video game.
For sure.
Like, because it was just front and center a part of it. Even though they had been around for, you know, years prior to that, a new generation really came on it. I'm kind of curious, like, you know, did you... Like, it just has to be insane to be playing this music and be like, yo, there was like a 10th grade version of me that was like...
I mean, it's absolutely correct, man. And I was just talking to somebody about it the other day, and they were talking about the significant points in Primus. You know, you had Beavis and Butthead, and that was a huge moment. You had South Park.
Woodstock 94.
Oh, of course.
Woodstock 94 is classic with Les and the American Flag shirt.
Man, that was huge. South Park, obviously a huge thing. And then Tony Hawk, you know, like, and I feel like all of those things brought Primus into this mainstream light, you know, and I remember Tony Hawk talking about the game and how he made like not much money for that first game.
Right.
And because they didn't know, you know, and so, you know, that game turned out to be like one of the biggest games, especially at least of that year, and it was a major accomplishment. So I mean, the fact that Primus got in on that, and then the game blew up the way it did, it was just, I mean, it blew up into everybody's living room, you know. And so,
and it's like when it came back a couple years ago, like Primus was the first song that I heard on it.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, I'm almost 40, and like here I am,
all like, the feels, you know, coming right back. Yeah, man,
it's pretty awesome. So your parents, this is your dad was a musician, a professional musician. That's cool. My parents are both musicians as well, professional musicians, and like I feel like, you know, when you grow up, I'm kind of curious, like, what was it like to grow up in a musical family for you and feel like, you know, this is my trajectory?
Well, you know, yeah, my dad was a musician. He played in a band called the Killer Bees. They were based out of Austin, Texas, and this is like in the 80s. And they were successful. They had a lot of stuff going on, toured the world, you know, toured the country, obviously. And yeah, it was, at the time, you know, you don't realize that your life is maybe a little different, or like that this isn't everyone's sort of lifestyle. And when I was a little kid, I didn't have this, you know, when I was 8 or 9 or whatever, I didn't have this like, oh, I'm going to be a musician kind of attitude. I don't know. I was just a kid. Like I was probably doing whatever other little 8 and 9-year-olds do, that it really wasn't that different, you know, but, then once I grew up a little bit and became, you know, a teenage aged person and kind of coming into my own, I realized that my whole life up to that point had almost been geared for this one thing, which was to play music, you know. And
no one was yelling at you to not play the drums.
Definitely not. I was always encouraged and embraced to play the drums, always.
Yeah, which is like, it's so cool, especially whenever you're like, oh man, the trajectory I fell on is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
100%.
It's like a birthright.
Absolutely. There's no different upbringing that I could have had that would have, you know, been a better start for where I ended up.
Nice. So I kind of have like, that's kind of towards the end, but I do have a little thing that I want to ask you.
All right.
Drummer jokes. I love. Do you have some good drummer jokes?
Man, I don't have any you haven't heard. How do you get a drummer off your porch? How can you tell when a drummer's knocking on your door? I mean, prospectively, you get a drummer off your porch by paying him for the pizza, and you can tell a drummer's knocking on your door because the knock speeds up and slows down. Yeah, but,
I'm going to give you my list.
Okay,
I made a list. All right.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to ask you to read some.
All right, let's hear it.
These are like dad level drummer jokes.
All right, I'm going to put these glasses on so I can actually read this. This is my first pair of prescription sunglasses,
nice,
by the way.
man.
This is funny. So, like, I've been kind of known for my white sunglasses, and I got these, and they're obviously black. But if you see on the inside,
dude,
they're
that's
actually
great.
White sunglasses in disguise.
You're never gonna want to take them off.
Yeah, dude. Well, and now as soon as I put them on and like can see, it's pretty amazing. My first, prescription sunglasses. So let's see what we got. Okay, what do you call someone who hangs out with musicians? Of course, a drummer. Naturally. Next, how can you tell a drummer is at your door? The knocking speeds up. So yeah, What's the last thing a drummer says in a band? Hey guys, why don't we try one of my songs? Okay, yep. How do you get a drummer to play quieter? Give them sheet music. What's the difference between a drum machine and a drummer? You only have to punch the information into a drum machine once. I like that one. I haven't heard that one before. That's a good one. What did the drummer get on his IQ test? Drool. That's another good one. What do you call a drummer that breaks up with his girlfriend? Homeless. That's probably I would classify that one as the alpha, the OG drummer joke right there. What do you call a drummer with no girlfriend? Homeless. And finally, what do you have? Okay, what has 3 legs and an asshole? A drum stool. I should be offended, I think, but I'm a drummer, so I don't have the capacity to be offended.
Exactly. You haven't evolved to that level yet.
That's for the musicians.
Dude, John, this was so freaking sick, man.
Right.
Congrats on everything.
Thank you.
This is awesome. Your first LA Primus show. Super stoked. I've seen Primus here when they were touring the Rush.
Oh yeah, man.
When they were touring Rush here, it was so sick. Like,
I'm sure of it. Yeah.
So you're gonna love it.
Man, I can't wait.
Dude, great hanging, man.
Man, likewise.
Be good.
You got it.